ended up doing was I sold all of my clinics. I sold my house. I'm a car guy, so I like to race and play cars and high performance vehicles and so forth. Got rid of all of them. All my cars gone, and I've had that since I was a teenager. Got rid of everything. I had all the toys that guys, I had the motorcycles and the boat, sold my cars, everything, got rid of everything. I came this last time and I said, but I still hadn't planned exactly how I was gonna do it. I knew I wanted to be here more. Welcome, my name is Mikhail, and I have transitioned from the US to Tanzania, specifically Zanzibar, the island of Zanzibar, Tanzania, and created the Zanzibar Beach House. Come check it out. This is the Zanzibar Beach House. It is a collection of shipping container homes that I built and placed right here, right on the oceans of the shores of the Indian Ocean here in Zanzibar. They are cladded in porcelain, marble, stone tiles, and as you see, all of this white rock is actually coral rock from the Indian Ocean, and I built it to surround our place here. So right here, this is our courtyard. Is a sand courtyard or beach courtyard, so all sand everywhere. 1, 2, 3 units. We call them the north, south, and west unit, which they're all exactly the same. The only difference is slight differences like the color scheme. One is red, one's blue, brown, green inside, but everything is exactly, so the south is a mirror image of the north. So everything on the north is on the left, everything on the right, on the south is on the right. And then the west unit is pretty much the same also. The Zanzibar Beach House is 100% off-grid. You can't tell because it has all of the amenities that anybody would want, but if you see on top of the units, they're all solar panels. And so what we did was, when we first got this property, there was no electricity, there was no running water, there was no sewage system or anything of that sort. It was just raw nature. Ocean, sand, coconut trees, palm trees, and a couple monkeys here and there. That's pretty much it. And so what we had to do is either get with the government to bring electricity here or create our own grid. And that's what we did. We ended up creating our own solar electrical grid here. And so we don't have to depend on the government's electricity at this time. But we probably will eventually bring it here just as a backup or something like that. It works in reverse, because here in Zanzibar, electricity is not so great sometimes. Sometimes they'll have outages, and so some people will have generators for backup or solar systems for backup. We have solar system as our primary grid, and then we'll probably have maybe the government's electricity for a backup, if that makes sense. Also, we didn't have running water, so we dug a borehole well, and so it pumps up all the water that we need ever. So we don't have to pay for water if we don't want to. The only thing is, the water is, because we're so close to the ocean, we're literally steps from the ocean. The ocean is salty, so the well water is salty. So we don't like that. So I think what we're going to do is we're planning on installing what's called a reverse osmosis water filtration system. It'll just take out some of the salt. That's down the road. But as it stands now, we don't pay for water, we don't pay for electricity. It's all 100% off grid. And then we built because there's no sewage system, we built our own septic system here. So all of our our sewage system is in-house and taken care of. So we're, like I said, we're 100% off-grid, though you cannot tell unless I were to tell you that. This is the inside of the south unit. If you come over here, you'll see our. By the way, I guess, did I even say this is a shipping container? All of our units are shipping containers. This is our living room area, complete with everything you can imagine for a basic living room. Your television, your couch, your end tables. You even have a little fireplace for the aesthetics. And comfortability. Coming from the living room, we're going into the kitchen. All the amenities you would expect in a standard kitchen. You have your refrigerator, your stove, your microwave, your coffee pot, your toaster, blah, 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 your cabinets, everything you would need for a standard staycation. Right? Again, everything here, we don't use gas, anything. Everything is electrical. So even our stove here is an induction electrical stove. So we don't have to worry. When I decided, I thought about using gas for a stove, but then it terrified me, the idea of somebody being unsafe and causing a fire. But with induction stoves, you don't have to worry about that at all. It doesn't even really heat up. You can touch it while it's on and your hand doesn't even get really hot as long as you use the right cookware. So that's why I like that induction stove. And like I said, all the amenities, pots and pans you ever want in your kitchen. Believe it or not, my brother is an architect. But I have a lot of style and design in my mind too. So he did a lot of designing as far as the structural stuff. I did, believe it or not, all of the interior design. I like the fact that in Zanzibar, I don't know how it got started, but the standard, typical, historical, architectural colors in Zanzibar, as you go around Zanzibar, you start seeing all these homes, these houses. They're all white with brown trimming. So I say I want to infuse that in inside and outside, but mainly inside. So if you notice, everything is white with brown trimming. So the walls are white, but the high table is brown. The legs of the high table is white, but the cabinets are brown. Or the floor is, and when I say brown, it's brown wood. It's always brown wood. So it's white and brown. But I also wanted to infuse local talent, local artistry. And so I made so sure that all of our art on the walls are all made by hand here in Zanzibar. If you notice, this beautiful woman here was made by a local, was painted by a local artist here in Zanzibar. So is that one. So is that one. So is all those in there. Even the woodworking. So Zanzibar are artisans, wood artisans they have are very, very good in woodworking. So whatever you want, they will build it out of wood if you can design it well enough. For instance, these tables here next to the fireplace, they were made here on the island by local artisans. Matter of fact, the fireplace actually, the housing of the fireplace was made by a local artisan. We bought these from the UK, but it was made with pressed wood, like cheap wood that starts peeling and so forth. So all we did was we took it to a local woodworker and he said, you know what, I can remake that exactly the way it was made, and they certainly did it, and it looks absolutely great. But so all the wood, this was made in Zanzibar, this was made in Zanzibar, this was made in Zanzibar, that was made in Zanzibar. Like I said, that was made in Zanzibar. All of this here, even these elephant and the tiger over there, all this was painted in Zanzibar. This was made in Zanzibar. If you come back here, you'll see more in the bedroom. The bed was made in Zanzibar. The wardrobe here was made in Zanzibar, about 30 minutes from where we are right now. And again, all of the art paintings made in Zanzibar. Those two end tables made in Zanzibar. They just do a great job, so why not utilize that for our place? Here we have the bathroom here. Standard, typical bathroom. You got your shower, you got your glass partition, and your toilet and your sink, and it's not extremely large. That's the thing about a shipping container. You have to be extremely creative in making things functional, but at the same time making it not feel like it's cramping. It's too small. So you gotta make enough space in there, but at the same time make it usable and feel like it's more space. So if you notice, there's mirrors on that wall, the whole wall of mirrors. There's a whole wall of mirrors here. There's a whole wall of mirrors here. And there's mirrors interspaced in areas around the interior of the unit, because we use them to kind of trick your mind into believing that the place is much bigger than it really is. It's just kind of a mind trick thing that really works in a small enclosure like that. And I got that from, it's good to know architects. They'll tell you some good things. But the best thing, so that's the interior in a nutshell. But the best thing about the Zanzibar Beach House, by far, is this. That is the best thing about Zanzibar, about the beach house. The Indian Ocean. Here in Zanzibar, you have all of the white sand beaches you can ever imagine. There's constant change in the ocean. Even the ocean, here, I'll come out here so you can see the ocean over here. This ocean, maybe an hour ago, was 40 feet this way, because the tides go in and out every day, twice a day at least, here in Zanzibar. And they don't just go out, they go like a mile out. So in about a couple hours, you're gonna see people walking about a mile out into the ocean because they can. That's how far the water goes away, within a couple hours. And then just like it went out, it'll come right back all the way out until it's splashing right on our rock wall here. Believe it or not, people farm seaweed here, and they sell it to pharmaceuticals for their medicinal properties and so forth. And so you'll see ladies out there walking around doing something. What they're doing is they're farming seaweed. They have crops of seaweed under the water there, and they're tending to their crops. And then they harvest them after a few weeks, and they sell it to, like I said, they sell it to the pharmaceutical companies, who then make medicine out of it. But I just enjoy watching them going out there farming their seaweed, and it's just an extremely relaxing environment, extremely relaxing time for me. So what I do is, although I have a different apartment on the other side of town, when I don't have guests here, I just come and stay here. I just stay here because it's so beautiful here. And I tend to find reasons. Like right now, I've been staying at the other unit for a couple months now, just because I don't want to leave. And so I ended up blocking off the calendar to not allow guests to book that unit because I'm staying there right now. Eventually, I know I have to let guests come in and book and so forth. But right now, I haven't found a reason. I haven't gotten up the nerve to relinquish it. I will eventually, though. Yeah, but as far as what we do here, nothing. That's the key. You come here and do nothing. Relax. Reconnect with yourself. We get guests who digital nomads who come here and do their stuff, their work online because they want to have a serene environment that's not interrupted a lot, but at the same time extremely relaxing. We get newlyweds who come here. We get everybody who comes here because of the beach, because of the ocean, because of the blue skies, because of palm trees. It's just a great, relaxing environment. And for me, coming from the United States, it is, I don't even have the words to explain how it allows you to reconnect to yourself, reconnect to what's important in life, as opposed to being in that rat race that I was in for so many years back in the U.S. It's a pleasure to be here. Like I said, it's the reason I haven't allowed guests to book that particular unit, because I'm staying there. But eventually I'll go hang out in my own apartment one of these days. So what triggered me to transition from the US to Zanzibar? It's a convergence of things. So it's not just one thing, it's compounded, one thing compounded upon the next, basically, and over a long period of time. We all know what's going on in the US, kind of wild and crazy. Ultimately, when you have options where you can deal with that, or you can put up with it, or you can not put up with it, if you're smart, you're going to choose the option that you don't have to deal with that. I think God blessed me enough to be smart enough and work hard enough to have options. And so when you look at what's going on in the United States, what has been going on in the United States, from all the craziness that's been going on for a long time to the newer level of craziness and foolishness that's going on, you're going to say, I don't have to deal with that. I have options. It depends on what you want, but let's do the numbers. Your biggest expense is where you live. It's also the most important thing because it's going to dictate your happiness. You're here living a certain way. That's what you came for that rate, to live that way. What you want to do is find a place that you can afford, number one. But number two, it's set in stone. You don't have to worry about it changing at all. The best way to do that is buy a home. It is my recommendation. Do not rent at all. Buy a home. Once you get established, once you learn you can rent as you learn and get your information, due diligence, but your ultimate goal is to buy a home. Why do I say that? Is because in the United States, okay, so you buy a home, let's say you buy a home for $100,000 in the United States. There's a mortgage. You're gonna pay, I don't know, $500,000 by the time it's all said and done, and that's in 30 years. Plus you're gonna pay exorbitant taxes. The amount that you pay, if it's a really nice place, it's gonna be insane, the amount that you're gonna pay in taxes. Here, it's completely different. Number one, you can buy the house. If you do whatever you need to do to buy it outright, you don't have to worry about the taxes being exorbitant, the amount that you're paying being exorbitant. Number one. Number two, there is no monthly bill that comes due that's going to dictate your monthly expenses, because you already paid it all. So I would say buy your house. Number three, buy a house that you can rent out on short-term rental, Airbnb, that sort of thing. Because now that expense becomes an asset, and now it generates money. I don't know what the demographics exactly are, but let's say your monthly income, 60% of it is your place that you're staying. That you buy the house, you got that becomes zero. So now you got 60% extra income to spend. Okay, so for me here, I don't have any expenses as far as standard expenses, lights, gas, and because we have solar and all of that. But you still, if you live in a conventional place, you're going to have that. Even that is not going to be significant as far as the amount is concerned, or percentage of your total bills for that month. You do need some type of transportation. How to get around is important. If you're here long term, it's best to, again, buy a car. Cars here are very inexpensive. In the States, you're going to pay your $60,000 for a new car. Here is nowhere near that. But also, it depends on what kind of car you get. Do you really want to buy that high-end luxury SUV? Is it really that important? If it is, you're going to pay that. Most likely, you're going to get a basic, decent car, and it's not going to be very expensive. But I would say the best thing to do is buy a car after you get established. I wouldn't say you can use drivers all the time, but eventually that is going to become an expense. Someone will pick you up anywhere you want to go and take you anywhere you are and take you anywhere you want to go. Or you can use Ubers. Well, in Zanzibar, there's no real Uber. There's just drivers. There's tuk-tuks and there's tourism drivers and so forth. And that becomes expensive after a while. So after you do your due diligence, you do your research, you decide this is when to stay, buy a car. Again, after that, your expenses drop significantly, because now you got your house, you got your car, wipe those off of your monthly expenses now, right? Now all you have to do is really worry about food and basic day-to-day stuff, okay, which is, you're talking a couple $100. So I highly advise to once you get established, buy yourself a home outright. Do whatever you need to do to purchase a home. Save, or max out your credit cards. Do whatever you got to do to buy your home. After that, buy your vehicle for your transportation, and the rest is a couple $100 a month. You are winning big time once you do those two things. I think it was a business issue I had. So I own some clinics, and I do my daily work running the offices and so forth. And I was opening a third clinic, and I got it down to the point where we were ready to open. We built it out. It cost damn near $500,000 to get it all done. Ready to go. I couldn't get a permit for occupancy. And when they find out about it, when I kind of figured it out, it was simply because the powers that be did not want me to do well. I was starting to do, from a business point of view, better than my competitors, I'm the only African American who was doing it at that time. And I found out later that they just said, we're not going to give it to this guy. We're not going to do it. And that's after I spent untold thousands of dollars in money, and revenue and time and energy and planning, and incorporated all these people and bought all this equipment and made changes to my policies and all of this, ready to go. He said, no, we're not going to do it. And we can get away with it because we have methods in how to do it. And I realized they've been doing that I'm not the only one, because it was too easy for them to do that. So I just said, you know what, why am I fighting this? So I had already started the Zanzibar Beach House. It was open enough so that guests would come, but it wasn't. I hadn't really put my design efforts yet into it, but it was good enough, and it was on its way. So I said, you know what, I'm going to concentrate more on this outside of the U.S. and do really well with it. I was thinking, well, you know, this is established here for the most part. I'll stay here for a couple months and I'll go back. I'll stay for a couple months and I'll go back. When I got here the last time, I said, you know, I don't see a reason to go back. I really don't see a reason. I'm here in the sun all day, every day. The ocean is right there. I'm a water guy. If I'm near the water, I'm at peace. I don't care where I'm at. My condo back in the States was on the water. Everything is all the water, about the water to me. I have it right here. Again, it's all about the white sands and turquoise blue waters. It does something to me. I used to go back all the time. I've been doing this since the pandemic. I started this since the pandemic. And I go back, I stay here for about 6-8 weeks, and I go back to the States and I do what I do as far as my business is concerned. But I made it possible by, you know, you got to have a good staff who can run the offices for me. I have, you know, I'll hire doctor this or doctor that to see my patients for me. Our policies make it so that I don't have to be hands-on all the time. So I can step away for short periods of time. And so that's what I've been doing that for like 4 years. Then I got to the point where, like I said, I came the last time. I've been here since 4 months now, and I haven't found a reason to go back to the US, because I don't have to go back to my offices. They're now someone else's office. I don't have to deal with logistics and making sure you know, my storage is paid for, and you know, my cars are all that stuff. I got rid of all of them. I don't have to worry about my house. I sold it. I don't have to worry about, the only thing I have is family and friends back in the States and memories of growing up there. But with technology the way it is now, you know, I can video call anybody at any time. Matter of fact, I'm in more contact with a lot of people in the States than I was when I was in the States because of technology. I just haven't found a reason to go back yet. I'm sure I'll go back, and, you know, probably for some logistical reason, that sort of thing. And I'll stay with family and friends, or I'll rent an Airbnb or something like that, because I no longer have a home there that I own. This is Fumba Town, is an active construction site, but at the same time, an active community where people live here while it's growing and growing and growing. So that's why you see all these buildings people live in these, but this one is being constructed. People live in these, but over there are new construction. And that's the whole Fumba Town is happening in real time. Okay, my unit is even, well, my building is constructed, but right next to mine is one that's still under construction. And so even my parking lot is not, see, this parking lot is correct, is built and finished, but mine is not. Mine is still dirt. And others are waiting to have theirs done, but they're moving relatively quickly, but just, I happen to be one of those that I still don't have a parking lot yet. I have a parking lot, but it's a dirt parking lot. So we're gonna cut through someone else's parking lot so we can get to my unit, because it's under construction, or the building next to mine is under construction, and we can't drive through there. So we'll walk. But I like Fumba Town because you see how, so they have greenery interspersed between their infrastructure, all the buildings and so forth. I like how they do that. They do that very, very, very well. If you look down here, they make it where these pathways you can walk between buildings and so forth, but you have a canopy of natural greenery uh, uh, that you're walking under. And it looks like, at first glance, it looks like it's just wild trees and bush, but it was strategically placed there. All the greenery that you see here is strategically placed, from that lemongrass right there to some of these are mango trees and so forth. I like that. All the trees are lined over there. I think that's a mango tree right there. And then there's, I think, lemon trees and a bunch of stuff. That was all planted there. And if you see here, so this building is obviously completed, but that one is not right there. Nor is this one right here. This one is there, as you can hear the drills and so forth, they're working on that. But if you walk between here, this is a little pathway that they create. All the buildings have little secret pathways that you go through to get to your place if you want to, or you can take the regular concrete street or road or sidewalk. So this is my unit right here, but they're doing construction on the unit that's near me, which is why we had to walk back, come through the back way, because the road is blocked off. But you see how all this greenery, I just think they did a really great job mixing in certain, now that definitely is a mango. I think that's banana tree. Then there's this red flower tree, and I forgot what kind of fruit that is. This is a coconut tree right here, a baby coconut tree. Those are cactus. This is all planned very well, as I guess the head person is kind of a horticulturist, and she just does well with that. All right, so here we go up to the second floor. In Zanzibar, it's always warm, so there's never a need. So the hallways are, although they're enclosed, they're open to the air because it's never cold here. It's always warm, which is why you can look right out there and you see the outside, but it's enclosed at the same time. So I've been here since I've been here, I've been neglecting my apartment because I've been at the beach house all the time. And so I'm supposed to finish putting some of the work, doing some of the work. The fireplace is supposed to go in, the shower glass stall is supposed to go in. I just haven't done it, so it's kind of a mess in here. This I bought. So I own this, watch your step. So it's just a small apartment that I stay here when I have guests at the place, and eventually I'll finish installing some things, right? Like for instance, this is a glass shower stall. Over here, this whole wall there's gonna be a stone fireplace wall here from the floor to the ceiling. That I haven't finished. This here is supposed to be stone, and under the counter there is going to be matching stone here. I've done none of that yet, just because I'm always at the beach house. But once I get a free moment, I'll go ahead and do that. Finish it up here and make it where I'm actually can rent it out. I don't rent this out right now because it's not ready. But if you look through the windows, you'll see right now current construction going on to our building next to us. Once that's completely been completed, they'll put their sidewalk. Their sidewalk, and this road becomes a paved road, like you'll see in the rest of when we go back out. This will become paved road, and that will become a paved parking lot. But yeah, it's one bedroom, one bathroom, one little kitchen area here. I still have yet to put, I don't even have this is supposed to go up on the door here. I just haven't had the time to do it. A balcony here, balcony here. This balcony opens up to my my parking lot area, but there's nothing to really see because we have no parking lot right now. You gotta excuse the dust and everything. But once the parking lot goes in, I was told within a month I'll have my parking lot. Within that time, this building should be nearly completed, like the rest of them are. This is a whole different type of building over here. There's several of them, because that's what that's what Fumba Town does. There's different types of buildings. Here, these are called Mongani apartments, and they're apartments, condos. But then over there, there's townhouses, and over here is going to be more apartment style, but a different type of building. And they build them in groups. And so this one's going to be a while before it finishes, but they're making pretty good progress here, I see. I'm glad to see they're really moving. Because the sooner they finish, the sooner I'll start finishing up my unit and start renting it out. So that's pretty much it. My day-to-day life in Zanzibar is the polar opposite of my day-to-day life in the United States. United States, I wake up before sun rises, I'm at it immediately, going back to the rat race, to the grind. Got to be at the office, got to do, and then when I'm done, I don't get home. All my staff is gone hours before I get home. I get home, I leave before the sun comes up, and I come back home after the sun goes down, many hours later after the sun is gone. And then I'm so beat, so tired that I make it to sleep, make it to the bed, and I wake up the next day and do it exactly the same thing. And that repeats itself every single day of every single week, of every single month, every single year, many, many, many years, repetitively. And here is the exact opposite. Here, first of all, I wake up whenever I want to. So if I want to wake up at noon, I do. If I want to wake up with the sun, when the sun is coming up over the horizon, I do. And I go to sleep whenever I want to. If I want to stay up all night and just stare at the stars, I do. Or if I'm just tired, I want to go to sleep super early, I do. Or if I want to take a nap or sleep in the middle of the day, I do. There's nothing, that rat race doesn't exist here, at least not yet. I strategically planned it this way, but this location, Zanzibar, is in Tanzania, of course. Tanzania is within an hour flight from Nairobi. Nairobi is within an hour flight of Kigali, Rwanda. I like Kigali, Rwanda. I like Nairobi. I like Dar es Salaam, mainland Tanzania. I like the island of Zanzibar, Tanzania. I like Mombasa, Nairobi. All that is within like an hour and a half of each other. And I also like Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. I frequently go and visit all of those places because here in Zanzibar, it's extremely relaxing, super relaxing. You don't get the big city vibes at all here, but it's just next door to Dar es Salaam, which is the big city. So when I want the big city vibe, then I take a ferry straight to Dar es Salaam and I hang out in the big city. But if I say, well, yeah, I've hung out there, but now I want to go to Nairobi. I jump on the plane, I'm there in an hour. I think it's less than that, or a little more than that. I can't remember, but you're right there. I leave at 9 o'clock, I'm there at 10 o'clock. And I got friends in Nairobi, we hang out, we do things. If I want to go to Kigali from Nairobi, I do exactly the same thing. It's like what we call the DMV in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia in the U.S. If you live in Washington, D.C., you're always in Maryland, you're always in Virginia. If you're in Virginia, you're always in Washington, D.C. or Maryland, and vice versa, because it's one big area. And I like East Africa in that way, because you can do so much. In Addis Ababa, which is a growing metropolis, it's going to be, keep an eye on Addis. It's going to be really, in the next few years, I think it's going to be awesome. But anyway, if you want to go there, the culture is completely different than the culture in Nairobi, which is completely different than the culture in Kigali. And you get to taste all of it all the time. So I'm always all over the place all the time because I can. That's the reason. So that's my, I guess, my usual daily, weekly, monthly activities. Believe it or not, if you purchase a place in Fumba Town like I did, you're already a part of expat community, because there's a lot of African Americans who purchased properties in Fumba Town, but also, like I was telling you before, more than 50 countries own, people from 50 countries own properties in Fumba Town. But that being said, everywhere I go, I meet people, I end up getting connections. That's really how I've been able to do what I've been able to do, because I meet somebody, we hit it off, we become friends. They have things that I need, I have things that they need or can benefit from. And you become a community. Not overnight, it takes a while, because the longer you're here, the more friends you make. Because you don't know everything. You can get some information online and that sort of thing, but the best information is from people who are already there. Well, like I said, I sold my clinics, right? So I have a lump sum of money that I'm just sitting on, right? As you go on, during time, it whittles down, whittles down, whittles down. But it just so happens that here, I rent these units out, so they slow down how fast I run it down, and depending on how much I rent it, it builds it up. So actually, in the long run, it's an increase in my revenue that I have here. So what I'm doing, because I like going to Kigali, I like Nairobi, I like Dar es Salaam, and I like Addis Ababa, I'm actually buying a condo in each one of those cities, and they're all going to be Airbnb, and they're all going to generate income. And so, again, when you do the numbers, let's say I buy that $100,000 house, I put it on Airbnb, I make $100 a night from it. That's $3,000 a month, if it's full occupancy, of course. But let's just say it's full occupancy. $3,000 a month, multiply that by how much to reach $100,000? You've paid off your house in a few years, number one. But number two, even before you pay off your house, that's your income, and it's without you doing much. Especially if you have a rental management company who takes care of everything for you. They'll take care of your rental while you're just generating money coming in. And then when you need a place to stay, if you buy more than one of them, then you stay at that place when you're not renting it, which is what I do here. I have 3 units here, plus I have my place on the other side of the island. Plus I'm getting a place in Dar es Salaam, Nairobi, and Kigali, and probably in Addis. That's 4 more places. I can't stay in all those places at the same time, which means that they're going to be generating money for me without me having to constantly do something. I can enjoy my life while it's generating money. So I highly advise people to get into the real estate market here, especially in the cities that that has a lot of tourism. Zanzibar is, there's tourism is its main industry, but tourism is big in Nairobi. Tourism is big in Kigali. Tourism is starting to become big in Addis Ababa and also in Dar es Salaam. You will have clients. You will have guests coming in to, as long as you buy an apartment or a house in the right location. You do your due diligence and find out where people are going to when they visit these cities, and you just do whatever you got to do to buy a property there and put it on short-term rentals. Do I feel safe living in Zanzibar? As anybody, African American, any race, Zanzibar is one of the most, I would say, safest regions in Africa. Rarely, I've never heard of anybody being actually killed or anything like that here. I've never heard of a shooting. I've never heard of nothing like that at all, ever. The worst, I guess, the worst you deal with is periodically maybe somebody will steal your cell phone, and even then, really, you have to be extremely careless for someone to actually steal your cell phone. They won't steal it from you. You have to leave it somewhere and walk away. No one is going to run up and steal your cell phone here. I've never heard of it. It's very safe here in Zanzibar. So all these boats here, these are made here in Zanzibar for the most part. I'm going to have one of these boats made, my own boat, because I want to see what it's like to just kind of hang out on the water here without a boat operator, just do it myself. Because back home, I have my own boat and I would go out whenever I went to on the lake. Now I want to do the same thing here, but I want to do it with a traditional boat that's made here in Zanzibar. So I'll be doing that as soon as I get a chance. Do I feel a call to Africa? I do feel a call to Africa. I'll tell you this one thing. It's kind of sappy, but I'll tell you. So when I was a kid, everybody knows Roots, the story Roots, Alex Haley and all of that. There's a scene in Roots where, and I was telling this to somebody else a couple of days ago, there's a scene in Roots where Kunta Kinte once he was kidnapped from Africa, he was brought to the US and he was just getting ready to be sold on the market as a slave and all of that the night before then. And he was locked in this cage behind bars or what have you, and he happened to look up and he saw the moon. And he said, now mind you, he had just recently been kidnapped and brought through that harrowing experience over the Atlantic Ocean and somehow arrived here alive. And doing all of that, he wasn't sure about anything, whether he was going to see his family again ever. But he happened to, and nothing was familiar. Absolutely nothing was familiar to him, except he happened to look up and he saw the moon. And he saw the moon, and he said, in his mind, I'm paraphrasing, but you're the only thing that I know. I knew it when I was in Africa, and I knew you now. You knew my family, you know me. You see my family while I see you. So tell my family I'm okay. And tell them I'll fight. I'll try to get back. I'll do whatever I have to do to get back. And everybody knows the story. He never made it back. He fought and ran away and constantly gotten caught. And where was he going to run anyway? You can run as far as you want. You're still on the American soil. You're going to get caught unless you get to the north, and still you got to deal with all the other stuff that you got to deal with as a black person in America. Long story short, he died. Kunta Kinte died. But he had a daughter, and his daughter went on and had children, you know the story. But the point is, he made that promise before he died that he's going to come back, and he never did. He never did. And that's what I see as my ancestors. They all made that promise. They're gonna find a way back. They're gonna get there one day, somehow. And they never did. I am them coming back. That's how I see it. I am their promise coming back to the continent. It may have taken generation after generation, hundreds and hundreds of years, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but I am their way back. And so that idea pulls me back to Africa. I'll tell you, I'm no stranger to Africa though, as an African American, because my whole family is, we do a lot of African stuff. So when I was 17, I think, my aunt had, so my cousin, I have two cousins. They're play cousins, but we hung out all the time. And one day their mom said, I'm going to send you to Africa, and you're going to, for like an exchange student, and you're going to go learn more about your religion of Islam. And that meant that when they go, we can't hang out anymore. And so, and we were hanging out a lot. That's all we did was hang out with each other. And my mom and my aunt got together and said, you know what, we can't break these guys up. I'm gonna send you along with your cousins to Africa. So we went, and we went to Senegal, West Africa, specifically in a place called Kaolack, Senegal. Matter of fact, we were in the village of Medina Bay, Kaolack in Senegal. And that's where I got my first taste of Africa firsthand. And of course, I was ignorant, just like everybody else from America. I had all these crazy expectations, and are the lions going to jump out of the trees at me and all the crazy stuff, and especially being a kid too at the time. So I learned quickly all of that was nonsense. But it just so happened that at that time I was 17, 18. We ended up staying for about like 3 months. And in that time I learned so much. And that was, again, my first taste of Africa, but also at that time I knew I was going to come back. We went to a place called, so we were in Senegal, but we also went to the Gambia, which is basically in Senegal. And we went to a place called Banjul. And to get there, we took a ferry there. And so you go from one part of the land to over the ferry takes you to the other part of the land, and you're in Banjul. But this is the first time I had ever seen the ocean. And the vastness of the ocean was amazing to me. It was just something caught my attention about that. And then we had these dolphins that followed us from one part of the land to the other part of the land, and they were doing this naturally, jumping out of the water and all of that. And I just felt something there. I was like, this is great. I want more of this. We got there. We stayed where we were staying happened to be right on the beach, like very similar to this, except the front part was the road and the backyard was the ocean and the beach. And I didn't know that, but we came in, we went into the house, and we put our luggage down and everything, and I happened to look out the window. I was like, what is that? Because it was so vast, it didn't register that it was the ocean. And it took a while, and it was starting to become dark, and the sun was starting to set, and that's when I realized where we were. So I immediately went outside and just started walking down the beach. It was just a peaceful calm that came over me. And I said, at that time, I'm what, 54 now? I was 17 or 18 at that time. I said, I'll be back. Matter of fact, I'm going to buy a place here so that I can come back anytime I want to. At that time, I said that. I didn't know it was going to be on the other side of of Africa, but nevertheless, that's what I said, and I had planned to do that. Then I went back to the States. Life happened, and you had to get yourself together and become a man and put yourself in a situation where you can make decisions and do things and all of that stuff. I went through all that, got married, So I'm no stranger to Africa. I got sisters. Her husband is also Senegalese, and their kids are half African, half African American. And then my other sister married a guy from Chad, so my niece is half Chadian, half American. I'm no stranger to Africa. So when I came here to Zanzibar, I had already done, in addition to having my experience, lived experience, I do my due diligence. So I wasn't really shocked about anything by the time I got here, because again, technology makes it so that you can be anywhere on Earth and learn about somewhere else on Earth, almost as if you were there. So I do all my YouTube research, Google research, and all of that, because I was very serious about making sure that when I do this, it's going to stick, right? It's not temporary. It's not last minute. Do it right so that it'll be permanent. It's hard to believe. I haven't really had any difficulty in adjusting whatsoever. It's been extremely easy, and because it just falls in your lap if you do it right. If you plan, you do your research, you do your hard work, and you do the work, and you use just some basic common sense and intelligence, it's going to fall right into place. For me, like I said, I'm very familiar with African culture. I was raised with a lot of African culture around me, so that the culture is not a shock. The infrastructure, again, if you do your due diligence, you know where to go for the infrastructure that you're looking for, right? So that's not a shock to me either. Hard work is not, for me to build this, it took a lot of hard work, but hard work I'm no stranger to that. You ask all my friends and they'll tell you, hey, that's a guy who really works hard at what he believes in. And once I get it in my head, this is what I'm going to do. Hard work, I'm not afraid of it. So that's not a culture shock either. I really haven't had any real surprises or difficulty in adjusting me whatsoever. I wish I knew that I could have done it sooner. But because I got so many things on the stove cooking all at the same time in life, you can only fit so many things on there. And Zanzibar was always or Africa, the continent, was always on the back burner. And then I eventually moved it to the front burner, and now I'm here now. I would have done this sooner. I wish I would have known that it could have been done simultaneously as I did everything else, but sooner. Number one, do your due diligence. Learn what you're getting into first. And a lot of it can be done before you even make your first trip here. So learn all about, as much as you can, all about Tanzania. But two, don't hesitate to come. Once you do that, come see for yourself. You don't have to come and actually move here permanently immediately. Come and see for yourself. because there's some things that you will learn that you could not learn from a distance. Feel it out and see if it's for you. And then after that, if you do decide that this is for you, you do want to transition to Africa, don't wait. Jump right to it. Start. There's no reason to wait at all. Matter of fact, the longer you wait, the more you're going to regret it once you get here. The message I would say is find a way to do it quicker, faster, because I would like to be here, to have been here as long as possible.